The Nile River, the river of life and great civilization. Today, we will take everyone on a journey back in time together. History of the Nile River, the river of life and civilization. Introduction. The Nile River is the longest river in the world. It is an important river that has sustained the lives of people and civilization for thousands of years. The Nile is considered the main artery of North and Northeast Africa, flowing through many countries such as Uganda, South Sudan, Egypt, and many other countries in Africa. Today, we will take everyone on a journey back in time to discover the great history of the Nile River, from its origin to the present. Origin of the Nile River. The Nile River originates from two main rivers, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The White Nile has its source in Lake Victoria in East Africa, which is the largest freshwater lake in Africa. Water from this lake flows through countries such as Uganda, South Sudan, and Sudan for thousands of kilometers. The Blue Nile originates from Lake Tana in Ethiopia, flows into the White Nile in Khartoum, Sudan, and then becomes the main Nile River flowing through Egypt to the Mediterranean Sea. The Nile in ancient Egypt. The Nile played a crucial role in the formation of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The ancient Egyptians called the Nile a teru, or Great River, because the Nile was their lifeline. Every year, the Nile experienced a seasonal flood called the Akhet. This flood created fertile alluvial soil suitable for agriculture. The Egyptians used this flooding to grow crops such as wheat, barley, and other plants that were essential for their lives. In addition, the Nile was an important transportation route that connected the cities of ancient Egypt, enabling trade and cultural exchange between cities. Exploring the origin of the Nile. In the past, the Nile River was a big mystery to Europeans. Many explorers tried to find the source of this river, but they met with many failures and obstacles. Until the 19th century, British explorers John Hanning Speke and Richard Francis Burton traveled to the heart of Africa in search of the source of the Nile. Speke finally discovered Lake Victoria in 1858 and believed that this was the origin of the main Nile River. Although initially disputed, it was later proven that Lake Victoria was the true source of the Nile. The Nile in the present day. Today, the Nile River remains very important to the countries through which it flows, especially Egypt and Sudan, which rely on its water for agriculture, industry, and electricity generation, including the Aswan Dam in Egypt, which was built in the 1960s to control flooding and generate electricity for the people in the country. However, the Nile River is also a source of international conflict, especially the case of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia, which was built to generate electricity, but affected the amount of water flowing into Sudan and Egypt, leading to ongoing negotiations and conflicts between related countries today. Natural and environmental diversity. The Nile River is not only historically and economically important, but it is also home to a variety of wildlife and plants, such as the Nile crocodile, hippopotamus, various species of birds, and various species of fish that provide food for local communities. However, the Nile River ecosystem is currently facing problems with pollution and climate change, affecting biodiversity and the lives of people living along this river. Conclusion and conclusion. The Nile River is more than just a river. It is one of the world's greatest rivers that sustains life and civilization. Learning about the history of the Nile River helps us appreciate the value and importance of nature to humans, and helps us understand the relationship between humans and nature that must coexist in balance and sustainability. Thank you to everyone who watched. Don't forget to follow, like, and share this clip to encourage each other. See you in the next clip. Goodbye.